West Ascension Consolidated Drainage District is called to order for August 4th, 2016. Invocation, if you don't mind, all three stand. Dear Lord, I ask you in this need to bless this great state, parish, and all the members on this board, and hope we make all the right decisions for our community, and also bless all the armed forces services that serve this great country, and keep us safe and for the freedom we have today. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Everyone is here except Mr. Thomas Pierce, and we're going to add Mr. Ron Savoy on the list there, Ms. Peggy, for now on for roll call. All right. And we're going to move on down to item number 3, accepting the minutes for July 7th. Motion. All right. I second that motion. And no objection. Motion passed. Item number 4, Jews Drive update. Which one of y'all want to handle that, Donnie? Moose ain't here, so Mr. Savoy.
I don't know too much about it, so he just found out about it.
Okay. Craig.
We about halfway through it. We put up a piece of fence to try to get the cows in another section so we can start the other section.
All right.
Yeah.
And how the drainage look? I know we've been having some rain in that back part. It's moving a little bit more faster, you think?
No, not right now, but we got the ditch dug from the back to where we at right now.
Okay.
You know, so
the front part, once we hook it up together, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, we're going to move on to item number 5, drainage issue with Mr. Billy Haywood. I guess he came here last month, and we was going to look into it to find out, do we have permission to get on the property? Basically.
As of now, no. There's one landowner, I believe, that will not sign a grant right away.
Okay.
And talked to this with Bill a little bit. And it may be more than just right-of-way issues there. It's a wetland area. So it may be more to it than just what's being brought up to the table. So currently that's the status of it. It's still pending right-of-ways and wetland issues.
Okay, so Ms. Peggy, we're going to leave it on the list and just see what's come up with it as we goes on. Yeah. And that way, at least we're working on it.
We also have, as a part of this major drainage study. That was in so as a part of this, we said that we would, we had a motion to have a major drainage survey done.
Right. I didn't know it was under that, but that's once again, if you don't mind, we'll take up that with Ron at the end of it.
Yeah, I just wanted to,
right. That's one of the things I was
not forget about that. Right. Okay, yeah. All right.
Okay, moving on to item number 6, Lemonville Cutoff Bridge.
Yeah, we actually visited that this week. The box culvert is assembled. They do have it in place on the side of the project where it goes. The jail has an ongoing project. They have some problems right now with a boiler or chiller or something there.
Cool water tower cooler.
So they got that ordered, and the project is supposed to start, I believe, in October. So they don't want us to disturb that route in and out for delivery purposes of their heavy equipment and stuff coming in there to do that job. So we got till November for that project closeout date is scheduled. Now, midterm, between now and then, we've seen a lot of things at the cutoff bridge site that we need to address. So we see some utilities and things that once we excavate that bridge out, we need to have clearly identified the risk down in the ground. We got to find out what those are and work those details out. So pending here to November, I hope to have that worked out for where when our part kicks off, we'll be able to move forward with the project of installing.
Bill?
Ron, is that being done under a contract or with our employees?
In-house, from what I
In-house,
understand. Now, we
okay.
may bring in a contractor to, we're looking at using heavy equipment that we own to set the culvert in the hole, but it may require a crane rental, but the actual work is under Parish in-house staff.
So the delay won't cost us anything really extra?
No, it's not any contract pending payments
Okay.
and things like that, no.
Okay.
Ron, the only question is, the bridge was under, violation of the state.
Right.
And I don't know if y'all, since you came on board, and, what is the status of that, making sure that we communicate with them, that we're moving in forward with it?
I think the parish officials are aware. I think Miss Amy Johnson is spearheading that project, and she's been in communication, I believe, with Bill and Alan. So they know that.
Okay.
But that's the only route into the back part of that part of the jail.
Okay, good, all right. Moving on to item 7, culvert for Bayou Napoleon. Ron, I don't know if you're up to speed on that one, right?
I actually did a little homework on it.
Okay.
We weren't able to ride to it, it's just too wet, but did find out a little bit of history on it. Mr. Sotia, I believe his
Correct,
name? He will have to sign an agreement with us to allow us to access the property to install it. We do have to work that little right-of-way detail out with him, but that project is pending. Everything is there. I think he's bought them the pipe and the material. Just a scheduling procedure problem. We got to get work that we're currently doing finished to get that one lined up to go do it.
Okay, all right. Moving on to item number 8, culvert on St. Jude's Canal. That's the one by,
They completed that.
complete?
The crew from,
I think he did mention that last meeting, that riprap you were concerned
Right,
about.
right.
Me and Craig did go around and look at that, and it is complete for his installation of the extra pipe, and the goal in mind is complete to improve the drainage, but we do need to do a little maintenance with that riprap for some washouts, and also where they cut the asphalt to put the culvert, it's kind of getting a little rough right there.
Well, when Bill Roop told me that they needed the riprap, not only, of course, to control the erosion, but to shape the inlet so that we could get better flow characteristics going in there. Additionally, as I said last time, I have some concerns that we had to put them lower than, lower than really where the bottom of the ditch is. And so you have a chance, of course, of sediment falling out, more of a chance of sediment falling out in there. So, I wanted to make sure that the riprap was at the inlet there and that it was brought down to the same level as the invert from the culverts.
Right.
So that if we have any sediment drop out, we have a chance to drop that out ahead of the culvert.
Understood, yeah. I think that's certainly doable. It was yesterday after that hard rain. When we visited, it was actually really high water, so
Yeah.
we couldn't really get a good sight on it, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Certainly look at that.
Well, because they're low, the water, because some of the normal level in there is above the top of the culvert.
Maybe something we need to do a little call for Dan to go ahead and pump it out to do the job.
Yeah.
And get
Okay.
it dry, to see what
Yeah,
we're dealing with.
right.
We'll certainly look at it.
Thank you.
All right, so we
I'd
can,
like to leave it on there.
okay, that's the next question, all right. Item number 9, Highway 1, Bun Hood subdivision drainage. I know the state came out there, Craig. Moose was working on that one. What, is
Well-
it completed or we're?
no, he was over there too.
Sure.
We got Ms. Eileen to come out there, the survey crew
Uh-huh.
and stuff. They really couldn't figure out where he wanted the survey to try to make the ditch go to the back, make the water kind of like a hard thing to do because the water goes to the front.
It goes in the bottom.
It's actually a
Yeah,
state highway.
so it's like it goes to the state highway.
Right.
The back and the front come to the front, and the back of his property.
Where?
And what they were asked to survey is to route a portion of that water to the back. And they survey that. One, we don't have right of way. But two, you got Bun Hood Canal that he's trying to go to. But if you dig a ditch, the depth that the ditch is in front of this place, and you try to route that water back, what you're gonna wind up doing, maybe not in everyday drainage, you'll have things okay, but if you get a significant event, what you'll wind up doing is pulling Bun Hood Canal towards them. So, currently right now, he's routed to those culverts in the front, and I think Moose mentioned that they blew those culverts out, and the state recommended that he do a little homework on his property too, kind of keep the debris and the leaves and limbs out of his drain, because it's culverts right there. But, that's pretty much where we're at. The survey is really not feasible to do, any other work other than at the front of his property. So that routes it back on to a state highway issue.
Did I understand, did you say the survey, you couldn't do the survey, or you did the survey?
They were tasked to go and look at doing the survey, putting a ditch going towards Bun Hood Canal. Craig and I visited, and I'm not sure if they did a survey that way, but the first thing they look at is, do we have right of way? We don't have right of way to do the work.
But it was my understanding that they wanted to do a certain, now, you know, that could have changed since they were here, but they wanted a survey to identify the problems behind the house, just see if there was a problem somewhere, you know, behind the house, because that didn't necessarily drain in, you know, the same as the front.
It went to the
So,
back.
like,
It goes,
I guess,
it goes through the back, but it goes to a lot of people's property.
Okay.
And they have to get a lot of, people right of ways done and stuff, and that's why they say it was kinda like not easy to do the survey, to go to the back. They got a lot of people that have put shades over the ditches and everything.
And that's
Where
the
they looked
city,
at.
and once again, the
Where we
city
looked at.
have that, that's the city. The subdivision has always been in the city. So if they put a building over a drainage ditch,
Well,
inside the city, they don't come down.
I don't think that they put a building over a ditch. I think that there is no current route with a servitude to Bun Hood Canal. And what
see.
they're looking at is putting a new ditch,
Okay.
and in a place where there is none.
that's the
And-
city is looking at that?
Our engineering department.
We are the drainage department, Bill.
I thought you said it was the city.
No, but
I
they
got-
have the authority to, you know, once again, the property owner in our city, we have to work with them to get those right away. Because
Okay.
it's
So
just not that
this
simple.
is still on the agenda next time, I guess, is that
Sure,
the
I'd
bottom
be
line?
glad that if you all wanna ride out to the site and see it, I'd be more than glad to walk
Yeah.
it with y'all.
Okay.
And I think that would give some clarity
Okay.
Okay,
All right,
well,
all
anytime.
right. We'll leave that on and we'll set up something. St. James and Assumption drainage update, I can tell you right now, there's no change in that. St. James haven't made a move. I know they're waiting on some permit. And then the last time I talked to them, they said waiting on the permit to do the spray. When they do it. But they're waiting on the, permit from the Corps of Engineers. So,
you know, one time we were gonna have a meeting with Lafouche, Assumption, you know, we had,
Moose.
that was supposed to be all in line.
yeah, but Moose ain't here. I mean, Mr. Pierce ain't here.
Are you aware of that at all, Ron?
I've talked to it briefly about it with Bill, and I think he, as you know, the reorganization thing, I don't know the status of Moose and Bill and their communication, but I think that there needs to be a merge into that. Who's gonna be spearheading where this thing's going and who's gonna communicate from the parish with St. James?
Thank
I haven't been involved in that far yet.
you. That's another one, stays on the list.
They all stay-
You didn't knock anything off at all?
No, I thought we could have one. All right, moving to item number 11, report. And, first of all, I want to, welcome you on board, Mr. Ron Savoy. I think you're gonna be, you tell me what your position gonna be, because I don't know really, Ron, to be truthful.
I understand. To be honest with you, I've been asked by Bill to, I think he's now over all of the DPW type things, and West Ascension drainage is one of them. So in that, what I've been tasked to do is assist Craig in mainly the work order system. And in that, we went through everything that residents call in, or work orders that were pending. We grouped them all together. There was a lot of that stuff in there that's just, we managed a lot of it, basically. Narrowed it down to good projects that we need to address. And then also staff reviews as to breaking down crews to attack those projects and try to keep the simple things as routine maintenance type work orders, have a crew that's all they do, keep those work orders on the books moving, and then have one crew that work on projects like your soil till culvert and different major projects. And then also our grass cutting crew. We have a lot of state highways, and it's a lot of them. And so we're trying to balance, I think what we've got, 4 or 5 guys that cut roads.
Yeah, on this side.
And they maintain all of that plus the off-road channels. So they have a lot of work ahead of them. So we're trying to balance that and get the best plan and get the most efficiency out of everything. That's pretty much it.
Yes, you sure can, yeah.
Ron, can I ask you something about the work order system? You know, like speaking of the generals here, so maybe, when a resident, let's say it's on the west side, for example, they put in a work order, let's say, for example, my ditch needs to be cleaned, okay? I don't know, maybe you'll send that to Oliver, you don't send it to me, but I've never seen these work orders like when, you know, do we have a report that says this work order was initiated on this date and on this date we did this and didn't do this, and it's, you follow what I'm saying?
Sure.
Is it possible that we could get that at these meetings for the west side, to get those for the west side at this meeting?
I would think that wouldn't be a
Yeah,
problem.
Bill, once again, this work order stuff on this side of the river from a computer status way, before it used to go to Miss Peggy, then go across the river, then Miss Peggy gives something to Craig, give the work order to Craig. Well, now we have a clerk in that department, and they get it that instant, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I'd be glad to meet with you all anytime you want. We'll come sit down at a computer. I'll show you how it works. We can look at anything you want. Go through Bill and line that up.
Well, I mean, I can go in there, I can get the work orders. I know it's all geographic. However, there's no, so example, I have a constituent that calls me and she says, you know, I put this work order in 4 months ago, and what's the status of it? Well, I can go there, I can see it's still in the system, but I don't have anything that tells me we've evaluated this is scheduled for this or that. You know, I can't give her any answer on her question really, except it's still in the system, which is usually not satisfactory.
I would be willing to sit down, like I said, and talk with you about the west side individually.
Okay.
But there's a vast majority of departments, and each one is different. Okay, and I don't want to get into commenting on other people's work. The work order system is all of DPW's work. So for our departments, I can certainly break it down and in notes document when we talk to people and have documentation of the length of the work order. That's not a problem for West Ascension.
That'd be great. So maybe we can combine those things when we go look at drainage over here on Highway 1. So
Yeah, I mean,
do that
I
at
guess,
the same time.
and Ron, while we still have you on, or Bill, Bill, we're gonna go to that master plan, what we want. So if you through, Ron, once again, I just wanna welcome you aboard. Bill, you have any more questions?
No, thank you.
All right. So, you know what, Craig, you got anything?
Oh, just that we on the St. Jude project, Juliet project. We cutting grass. I got a couple of more men's over here, a lady and a guy that gonna be of good value to us. So we ought to have the things rolling a little better. Because if one of the guys, the operator, he'll be able to help us out with some of our ditches. They're trying to catch up.
All right.
Yeah. So that's what it is.
Okay. Bill, if you don't mind, our question is on this, master plan that we trying to get together
The
to.
major
drainage.
drainage survey on the west bank. Major.
Yes, if you're talking about the drainage survey, and
You remember the last meeting, we had this problem with this ditch, and we couldn't figure out, is this a major drainage ditch or not?
Absolutely.
They'd never been identified over here on the west bank.
absolutely, and again, we tried this, and Mr. Joseph, no, we tried years ago to implement the same system we have on the east side of the parish, and that is to put all of these channels, major channels and everything else, into our master drainage plan, which is accepted by the state, which automatically give us the right to enter a piece of property if there's a problem and improve the situation. It was rejected a couple of times, I think, but it's very easily done. And we have all the information, to represent it to the West Ascension Drainage Board. And if it's voted on and you want to do it, then we can go forward with it. I mean, it's not very hard at all.
Is it possible that we could get, I don't know, you tell me the schedule, but by the next meeting, not the proposal, but to tell us what it would take to put that together and what kind of schedule it would take to complete it?
I will have all of the documentation at the next meeting. We'll have the maps. We'll have identifying the bayous and ditches and everything that encompasses the major drainage plan. I will also have the law. I have the code that allows us to do it, and I have the procedure put together on how we will do it and the timeline it'll take to do it.
Okay.
No problem.
If you could schedule us a meeting prior to bring up
Absolutely.
the speed, and then.
Yeah, I would advise that too. I mean, we'll sit down with the personnel and with you, two council members, and we'll sit down and look at it, and we'll go through the whole thing and explain it, the rights, because a lot of people misinterpret what this means, because the first thing that you have in it is a 100-foot servitude or 100-foot right-of-way on each side. The interpretation of that through court judgments is that 100-foot is for access in case of a problem that you have to enter to the property and relieve the problem. It's not there to improve the capacity of that ditch. So in other words, you can't go in there and say, I got 100 foot here, so I'm going to enlarge it by 20 feet or 30 feet or 40 feet. It's not made for that. You got to go through the same process as you would for anything else if you want to go in there and gain servitude, permanent servitude, to enlarge it. This is mostly there to enable us to maintain a drainage system in the case of, number one, property owner just don't want you in there for whatever reason. Number two, if there's a situation of airship or multiple owners of a piece of property, you can't get a power of attorney from somebody to go in and do it, you can enact this code to be able to go into it and make some improvements or relieve it of some problems. And basically that's what it's for. So, but we'll go through there. We'll have the code and everything for your review.
Great. Ms. Peggy, you're going to put that on the agenda for next time?
And we call that the master drainage, West Ascension master drainage.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah, appreciate it.
And I came in late and I apologize, but again, I want to reiterate probably some things that was already said, but we've been meeting, and of course, our man over here now for us trying to help Greg out and the other people out is Mr. Savoy, and he is in the process of evaluating the work order system and how they allocate work, priority of work. And we also get with him. We trying to do the exact same thing you're asking about, Councilman, about the prioritization of work orders and how we can schedule that and put it on some type of form where we can predict when certain work orders can be done. We're trying to work that through another system, which we talked about before, which is the either Primavera or project system, where we can use that to prioritize and set dates. We're still working on it, and we had a meeting actually yesterday on it with all our supervisors and project managers on how exactly we're going to start implementing this. And in fact, we're ordering the licenses for the software today.
Oh, great.
So all of our managers, in fact, Mr. Salva actually went to school for this at LSU several months ago. We sent him to get updated on it. So again, this is the system we can try to use to kind of help out and answer some of your questions.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, Mr. Dawson, you have anything?
No, sir.
All right. Ms. Peggy, date, time, next meeting.
September 1st.
All right, 5:15.
September.
Yeah. All right, item number 13.
Motion. to
I
adjourn.
second that. Meeting adjourned.